Oh, hi, Toy Twofer. So, in our previous video, we discussed and we shared Kamen Rider Wizard, unfortunately, without friends. But this time, I'm going to be sharing, I guess, my last Banpresto Real Deform figure that I have. But don't worry, he has friends. And that figure is Kamen Rider Gaim. Now, big difference. Kamen Rider Games packaging is a lot smaller than the previous packaging of Banpresto Real Deform. For reference, this is from my previous video, Kamen Rider Wizard, and this is what it looks like now. So as you can see, it's a lot smaller. But the reason I think it's a better redesign because first off it's smaller, it's easier to store, but at the same time, if you'd notice, it saves a lot in plastic because everything you see in this open window is all there is to it in the figure. So all the other places in the sides here is just open space. By doing it like this, first off, it removes the need for the open plastic, so it saves up on plastic. And secondly, it stores it further. Everything you need in the figure is gonna be more compact. So basically, this is my only figure with the new packaging. And since I only have 5 real deform figures, and this is the last figure that I have for my real deform sharing. So Kamen Rider Gaim. Now, if you remember, Kamen Rider Gaim is one of the Hazy Riders Phase 2. His concept is it's a samurai concept, yet the gimmick is fruits. So it's still pretty good. Until now, it's by far for me one of the goofiest gimmicks using fruit as his transformation form. So the coolness of the samurai theme gets mixed with the goofiness of the fruit concept. Even he's a great looking figure. I mean, it's just the concept. Even his motorcycle, the Sakura Hurricane, it's got the nicest name. Actually, it's my favorite name for the bikes. It's a Sakura Hurricane. Right? Even the color is pink. It's so nice, and you got fruits. So anyway, so this is the last I have, the last real deform figure I have, and we're gonna be opening Kamen Rider Gaim. So again, the Banpresto Real Deform. Banpresto is part of the Namco group of umbrella group, and Namco owns Bandai and Banpresto, and Banpresto is really more known for static figures, the poses. It's actually pretty rare that they did this. It's pretty surprising for me that they did it even, but I think they did well because the articulation is really great, and also for the figure, this is the chibi form or super deformed form with a little bit longer limbs. So I would say it's a great line. Unfortunately, I was only able to find the 5 which I bought. So this is what it looks like out of the box. As you can see, there's less open spaces than like before, so it's more compact. For me, it's smarter. Now, I wouldn't say that this is value. Why? Remember, I always define value as anything over the main figure and hands, especially for articulated figures. We have Gaim, and we only have an extra pair, so that's 2. So basically, just 4 hands, and the weapon. Now, for all the Banpresto figures that we've got, the real deformed figures, all of them had the weapon. Right? All of them had the weapon. All of them had extra hands, but by far I would say this partners with fours as one of the, I guess, the least value ones in terms of extras, because the weapon is the weapon is an extra for it becomes an include for the real deform line, but it did not have the extra hands. It did not have other gimmicks like Triple Zero's ring, the one to sound off his driver. We did not have, that's an extra. For Kamen Rider Wizard, it's the extra weapon. They have the gun and the sword. For Kamen Rider Deno, it's the light effects for the sword. So basically, this is just like Kamen Rider 4's, where it's just extra hands and the weapon. So this is it. But I would say, in terms of the size, in terms of the design, I think it works. Now, unlike the previous ones, wherein it's just covered on, now this is more similar to an SH Figuarts figure. I guess since Game is the most recent of all the 5 figures, I guess he's now part of the. I guess Banpresto decided to update the packaging, which I think is smart. So this is what he looks like. Man, I would say, I tell you, if it weren't for the fruit gimmick, it's really funny, but suit's really cool, right? So the helmet's there, figure, articulation, the Banpresto. As you can see here in the box, it also shows the different articulation points of Kamen Rider Gaim. So for a figure this small, and also with these proportions, with 30 points of articulation, is really good. Now, paint apps, amazing. You know, the glossy paint, articulation is there. You can see paint apps, even the detailing in front and backs, all complete, all great. It's become a given already. That's why, honestly, for me, I'm pretty spoiled since I did Japanese figures now. That's why Marvel Legends. I do have Marvel Legends. I will be sharing that also. Since I have that, my Black Series, Star Wars Black Series, I also have that. Of course, I have that. For that, I also have that. So, I guess if you collect Japanese figures like SH Figuarts, Figma, Revoltech, you will get spoiled with the way they're made, the way they're sculpted, the way they're painted. So, but again, I mean, yeah, you're really gonna get spoiled because it's miles apart. I mean, Hasbro is catching up, but nah, not really. So we do have that, and then they do have extra hands. It does have, honestly, a useless fist hand, which doesn't really do much for him, and posy hands. Oops. So they do have the posy hands as well. I'm sorry. They do have posy hands. It's like the posy hands for more dramatic poses, and the weapon. So the weapon is much like a gun sword. So it's a gun and a sword. It's just like unlike the Final Fantasy one, where the sword, the blade is on the barrel. So this is the gun and the sword, which you can have him wear. Unfortunately, he can't wear it in his hip. You can't wear it on his hip. Well, yeah, you can't. You can't wear it, well, because the SH Figuarts version, you can wear it in the hip. Oh, yeah, you can. And aside from that, there's only one weapon. Now, here's the thing. In terms of the basic value, okay, it works because he does have a weapon. But I guess if you remember his figure, from the SH Figuarts line, you'd know that Kamen Rider Gaim has a second weapon, which is the orange slice wider sword. So if we're talking about value, this is the basic value, but it actually has less because Kamen Rider Gaim is known to have 2 weapons. So in terms of basic posing, it'll work. You know, if you're a fan, you'll have it. It'll work because it's a great figure. But then again, if you're a super fan and you want him to be posed in his main weapon, it's not. Why? Then I guess this is a great time to introduce his friends First is the WCF version, which I see is basically similar in terms of scale, a little bit of a deformed, super deformed version. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about. The wider weapon, which basically shaped and painted like an orange slice. So this is what he usually would be posing with that extra weapon. Now, if they might say maybe it's just a dramatic style or a dramatic pose for him, since he should be having more, since it's actually just a special weapon. No, because this figure also has the wider orange slice sword, and the smaller sword or the gun sword is attached to his hip. Alright, so no. Then you might say, Jax, it might just be a coincidence. It might be a... Oh, really? But how come this figure also has both weapons? Then, but that's 3 figures already. That might be more than a coincidence. Oh, but the board game version also has 2 weapons. So it's basically Kamen Riders really should be having 2 weapons. And maybe it's too much, Jax, but we have one left. This line doesn't really have weapons, so it's a default. So you have this, right? So Kamen Rider Gaim should be holding 2 weapons. And it's also funny because for Kamen Rider Wizard, you guys released it with two weapons. So what gives? You know what gives? Why just release one weapon when the main look of Kamen Rider Gaim has always been 2 weapons, right? You made already a figure for 2 weapons. Why not just make another, add the weapon, right? And I'm sure Kamen Rider Gaim collectors or even Kamen Rider collectors would love it even more. Right? So I guess that's it should work on its own. But if you knew how he really looks like, knew his weapons and all, there'd be a little bit of disappointment for this. But then again, for the figure itself, it's great. Nothing wrong with the figure. Everything about the figure is great. Paint applications, detail. You know how detailed this is? Even after the shoulder guards, they even painted this and sculpted the wings, right? The back, because again, it is a fruit. They even have all the details done. So why not just add the extra sword? Add that orange slice sword, or we can even change the scale to make it a little bit smaller. But it would have worked. It would have really worked to have his full look, right? So, I mean, personally, it's a good figure. On its own, it's a good figure. But if you knew how he really poses and how he really looks, I would have wanted an extra sword. So, so that's it. That's actually all 5 of my Banpresto Real Deform figures. Maybe comment if you do want to comment or watch. Comment which figure that you like the most. And actually, for next toy sharing, I'm thinking it's either we do a little bit of catch up on some of the other figures that I've gotten, because actually, if you've seen my my videos on my Jujutsu Kaisen figures, I actually finally got an update on it. I didn't get the season 2, the recap, or I guess it's a prequel, or no. When Gojo and Geto were still students, I didn't get that because first off, seeing Geto as a student, it did depress me a bit because I really like this character when he was a student. There's and if I put them with the current students, I find it a bit weird. So I didn't get those 2 guys, but I recently was able to get Yuta, the guy for Jujutsu Kaisen 0, so the guy with the sword. So I finally got him. So I guess we'll be sharing him soon, because we've already shared the 3 students plus Gojo, and even Aoi Todo. So we have them, the 5 of them already shared. So we'll be sharing Yuta next. I also have one-off figures. I mean, not one-off, but figures from anime who are I guess only one figure from the anime, and I'm pretty happy with this. I got Sunraku from the anime Shangri-La Frontier, and oh, this one's really cool. I just got it as part of, I haven't done my conversion video yet because those figures, those amounts, the figures I ordered haven't arrived. All of them haven't arrived yet. So I only, and one figure that I'm pretty happy that I got was Momo Ayase of Dan Dan Dan. So I guess we'll be sharing those figures soon. And after that, we might go for March. Alright, guys, so I need your help. Would you want me to go Kaiju number 8? I'm gonna be completing the defense forces for Kaiju number 8 by, in a few hours. I'll be getting the 2 figures I need, Hoshina and Kaiju itself, and Kafka. So, but after that, I also have Rina, I have Himeno, and I have, so I have those. So, would you want to see that as well? So, I have that. I also have something planned out for April, since April Fools, right? So I think I know who I'll be sharing for the month of April. I know the ones for March. I think we might do Kaiju number 8 for March. For May, yeah, I think I have a list already. I know I guess I already have a list of what to do. I think my May's not complete yet, since the one that I'm having lined up is, yeah, we got it. All right, so there. I guess I have a plan now. I have a plan for, so our next sharing would either be Sunraku or Yuta. So I guess if anybody gonna be commenting, I hope to check it out. Who I will start with. But thank you very much for sharing my Banpresto Real Deform, and on to the next line.